Hey guys, it's me, Vixel123 with some more Battlefield 4. You're going to be watching some team deathmatch on Gamemodes Railway using the SAR-21. Definitely my favourite assault rifle. The range you can get out of this thing is just ridiculous, and at close range it doesn't handle too badly. So that's the gameplay you guys are watching. Hopefully you'll enjoy it. This was actually really early on in the game. This was recorded probably about a month ago when the game had first come out. I was just playing, I had hit record, wasn't really, trying to get a perfect game or whatever. I was just trying to get as many kills as I could. So you may see a little bit of carelessness, probably not protecting my kill death ratio. I was just going for those kills, but it's team deathmatch. That's what it's all about. Nearly managed a cheeky lean kill there. Do I actually get him with that GLM? No, I don't. But anyway, you've seen the title, you probably have an idea of what this video is about. So, new game modes within Battlefield 4. So, basically, within the coding for Battlefield 4, they've found a couple of game modes that aren't in the game yet, and this often happens with games, throughout the life cycle of the game. They'll release new game modes to mix it up a bit, keep it fresh, keep it interesting, and that's what we've seen with most games. In Battlefield 3, there was DLC content cycling out and coming out over the 2 years that the game was out for. It seems like all the DLC we know about for Battlefield 4 is planned for the next year. You can see that it spans into the summer of next year, whether they're planning to do a sequel at the end of next year, or whether they're planning to announce more DLC towards the end of next year. We don't really know yet. It'll be interesting to see. That much is for sure. So DLC coming out, and we have 8 different names for these game modes, and this isn't confirmed information or anything. This is just speculation, but we can get a good idea of what these game modes might be just from the names of them themselves. So the first we have right here is Tank Superiority. So that's a bit of a no-brainer for any of you guys. We can guess that it will be just like Air Superiority, where you're restricted to air vehicles only, but it will be Tank Superiority, so you're restricted to tank vehicles only. So that will be quite a good fun game mode, a great way to get unlocks for tanks, just like Air Superiority was for air support. Not something that we'll find ourselves playing over and over again, but will be a nice change from the main game itself, almost a World of Tanks spin-off, because, in a way, Battlefield is combining a lot of different elements when you consider the game itself. You've got Air Superiority, which, in a way is a mini, fighter plane attack helicopter simulator. Tank Superiority will be a similar thing, so that will be it. So the next one we have is Gunmaster. So, you guys may also be familiar with this one. They had Gunmaster in Battlefield 3. So, it was simply, you cycle through the guns, very similar to Gun Game in Counter-Strike Source and Call of Duty. Please do not write comments saying, oh, Battlefield's copying Call of Duty, because they had it in Battlefield 3, and CSS, Counter-Strike Source, about 10 years ago is where Gun Game started off and where I first played, and I loved that game mode, loved it so much. So Gunmaster in Battlefield 3, you had to get 2 kills with each weapon to progress to the next one, and then the final kill was a knife. So it was something along the order of pistols, SMGs, assault rifles, LMGs, snipers, launchers, and then the knife at the end. So that will be definitely a lot of fun, and I'm really looking forward to that if it does get added. And that's because Battlefield at times can be, quite a serious game, quite full on. You really have to get into it, use strategy, play seriously, otherwise you're going to have people getting irritated. Whereas Gunmaster hopefully will be a little more light-hearted, a bit more fun. So I'm looking forward to that. The next one we have is Combat Mission. So no real clue to what Combat Mission might be, but just from the name itself, it could be some sort of co-op mission, storyline campaign system where you play, a mission itself, co-op and online, and get XP for doing that. It could be something like that. We don't really know at this stage right here, but that would be kind of a guess at what it could be. The next one is Squad Rush. So we've got Squad Deathmatch, we've got Rush. We can imagine this is going to be some kind of combination of the two. It could be something along the lines of a more competitive rush game mode. 5v5, one squad against another, maybe smaller maps. That would definitely be interesting to see. And that sniper is going to get slashed up right there. But yeah, Squad Rush could be very interesting. They may try and combine it with the squad deathmatch game mode in the way that there's multi-teams. I'm not sure how that would work at all. In fact, that doesn't really make sense to me. You couldn't really have 4 teams on a rush game mode. But who knows, anything could happen. So that one, again, we have a decent idea of what it might be. And now on to the next game mode. This is another one that's a little bit easier. So we have Scavenger, and there was Scavenger in the last DLC for Battlefield 3, I believe. And that was a game mode where everyone started with pistols. They went around and had to pick up weapons, had to scavenge their weapons. I don't believe there was a huge variety of weapons to scavenge, to pick up in that game mode, but, we could see anything within Battlefield 4. They've got, a really open, space to play around with and customize a lot. The next one we have, which literally, there is no clue to what it might be, is called Sport. And I was sat there trying to think, what could Sport be? And I had absolutely no idea. And actually, my friend James, who told me about all of these new game modes, actually had quite a good idea to what it might be. So his channel will also be linked in the description if you want to check him out. He also produces lots of videos, and also the guy who actually found these game modes himself will also be in the description. But what his idea for what the game mode might be, which I think would be really, really cool, is some kind of sport racing mode. So if you think in the game, we've got the buggies and the dirt bikes, which are a lot of fun to drive around. China Rising, the dirt bikes are so much fun to drive around, and then you've got the buggies as well. And even the the BTRs and things can go pretty quickly. So we were just thinking, can you imagine if you had a game mode where you were actually racing in the military vehicles? Maybe you could even have passengers shooting at the other players, because there was a game mode in Halo 3 called Rocket Race where you'd race around on Mongoose's little quad bikes and have someone on the back with a rocket, and it would be so much fun, and you'd have to kind of head through different locations and pick up points. So to see something like that in Battlefield 4, it's a long shot that something like that would end up in the game, but there's nothing saying it couldn't happen. I think something like that would be so cool. Sport vehicles driving around, people blowing each other up, shooting rockets off the back, locking on, people, using assault rifles, throwing C4s out the back, just that sort of stuff, C4 Jeeps, all that good stuff. It could be crazy, but that's just speculation there. Don't pick me up on that when the game mode, well, even if the game mode eventually does come out. So the next one we have is Fireteam Survivor. Again, no real clues as to what this might be. Survivor itself kind of suggests something of wave-based surviving against enemies. Perhaps one team has unlimited tickets and the other team have one life each, and they have to survive. Maybe it's AI rushing the fire team themselves, because if it was something, that's the fire team itself suggests it's something AI, it's against AI, because, you think it would be squad survivor or something if it was a squad of players, but I guess it could be anything with that, but, the name itself gives away a few clues as to what it might be. We'll have to see what that is. Anyway, last but by no means least, we have Onslaught. So Onslaught was a cooperative game mode introduced into Battlefield Bad Company 2 as DLC content, and it put 4 players against an enemy AI on redesigned variants of 4 of the maps. Whether it will be on 4 of the Battlefield maps, we'll see, but that could definitely come in with DLC. So what actually happened in Onslaught mode is that the 4 players were set against, a fixed number of AI, infantry and vehicles per flag. So they had to destroy all the vehicles, kill all the enemies in the base to begin capturing the flag. And then once they start capturing that flag, reinforcements arrive in large waves through various spawn points and spawn infinitely until the team have captured the flag. And if any enemy were in the area of the flag capture, then they'd, pause the process of that flag capture. Then once the flag is captured, a new flag would appear and the players would move through the map to a different area and try and capture that flag. So if you kind of imagine it's the rush game mode, but instead of planting bombs, you capture flags, and instead of killing an enemy team of defenders, you kill an AI enemy team, waves of defenders. So those are all of the game modes we know about right now that may make it into the game at a later date. They all sound good. I'm looking forward to getting my hands onto them. I want you guys to let me know in the comment section below which game mode you think will be the best one, which you're looking forward to the most, which you're hoping to see in the game the most, which you'll be playing the most, that kind of stuff. I'd love to hear your thoughts on what some of the game modes I wasn't so sure on what they are, what they could be, bounce off your ideas. You could have completely different ideas to what I have had. I just wanted to share the information with you. you and kind of throw some ideas out, get the ball rolling with what they could be. So that is completely up to you guys to feedback in the comment section below. It's always great to hear from you guys. And as you can see in this game, actually, we were quite a way behind. This guy would not come off the roof, so I was like, I'm going to take your entire roof out. I'm going to take your entire wall out. He just bails out of the window. That's when you know he was on the run. But actually, yeah, we're down by a significant amount here. I think at the end I had like more than half of, or around half of my team's kills. So that was a struggle in this game. I just literally, I think that's why I was playing so aggressively and possibly carelessly as well, just because I wanted to get as many kills as I could. But I think it was at this point I realised. In fact, did we pull it back? I don't even know. This game was so long ago. We're going to have to see. We have that exciting ending. But yeah, the new game modes do sound like they're going to be a lot of fun. A lot of variants coming to the game. You know, anything new is always good, even if it only keeps me entertained for a couple of games. The more the better. Definitely. Oh, there was someone behind me there. I was wondering how I got clocked. Right there, look at that. 33 kills. And our team have, what? Is that 71 in total? So nearly half of our team's kills. But it was not enough to pull the game. The thing is, you can see them all charging in through the middle of the map. I was like, guys, stay back. It doesn't have to end like this. I'm hiding in the wreckage of what once was a nice little building. This map did literally get leveled. Have you seen how many buildings it just crushed? I think at this point I had to resign to the fate that we weren't going to pull off the game. I'm surprised, actually, in hindsight. I seem to remember actually not being very happy at the time. I think I tweeted out the scoreboard, like, what is this? Why did we lose? I played Team Deathmatch to slay and still win the game. But I guess we're not all as lucky as we'd hope to be. So there we go. That was the video. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. As I've said many a time, feel free to leave a like rating. Always appreciate it. Subscribe if you haven't already, because I will be posting videos on those game modes if and when they are released. Unfortunately, taking a loss there. 34 kills. Actually, yeah, not quite half of the kills on my team, but very close. So anyway, once again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on a future video.